Happy Friday, everyone. In this video, I want to continue talking about this generation, which will be kind of a part two to my last video. We'll first note that the word generation in the New Testament occurs about 34 times. We're specific to the phrase the generation, is found 17 times. And the reason that the Devar has the definite article here is because it's in the original Greek manuscript text. So the article, generation. Here in the first occurrence, Jesus is likening the generation to those who do not dance, they don't have joy, and they do not ululate. When the playing ones, who are likened to those at the beginning stages of learning being chastised, sing to them, or fluted to them, they do not dance, and we bewailed, and you did not ululate. These are characteristics of this generation. If you move down a couple verses, this same generation Jesus is addressing are saying that John the Baptizer has a demon. And as I talked about in my last video, this generation Jesus is speaking specifically about will be condemned in the judgment of the last days, when the Ninevites rise and the regentess of the south awakens in the judgment. Concerning this generation, Jesus upside, and he said, why does this generation seek a sign? Where then he gives a woe concerning this generation. The sign of Jonah. Here in Luke chapter 11, it's the same context with the added, this generation is an evil generation, seeks a sign. So he's talking to an evil generation. It's not specific to just the whole generation of human beings living during this time, but a specific class of people. We're here again in relationship to the judgment and their condemnation, Jesus said, so that the blood of all the prophets, that being poured out from the downcast of the cosmos, looking all the way back to Genesis 1-2, may be extraordinarily sought from the generation, the evil generation, the generation that will be condemned in the judgment, from the blood of Abel. Okay, Abel, this is pre-Noah flood. This is looking back to the very beginning origin of this present heavens and earth. Genesis 1:3. Here in Luke chapter 17, this generation is said to examine away the Son of Human, Christ Jesus, and as it came to be in the days of Noah, is referring to the transgression of the angels according to the judgment that's coming, the condemnation of this generation, and their relations with these angels, where the angels ate and drank and married, according to Enoch, bearing the Nephilim tribes, who are this evil generation. The disgust of this generation has its relationship to the mingling of human beings with fallen angels, creating an evil generation. So again, the context of the generation is specific to a class of people who are bloodline descendants of Nephilim. So according to what I talked about in the last video, this generation that will not come pass by points to the come passing by of the heavens and earth and the judgment of the last days, of which this generation specifically are the cursed left named into the Aeonian fire that prepared for Diabolos and his angels, which parabolically is the fourth watch time, where there is no blissful are those. Okay, so what would contrast the blissful would be the woe to this generation. So those like the preterists who want to say that Matthew 24:34 was speaking to a generation in general, when all of the previous things named would happen, is not understanding the context and audience of this generation. It's not speaking of a general generation and timeline of the first coming of Christ. It's pointing to the future judgment and the come passing by of them and the heavens and earth when they're judged last prior to coming into the new heavens and earth.